I've come here to say hello to an old friend, the Birmingham Town Hall, where I first came, trumpet in hand, in 1947. I was then a member of a band called Carlo Kramer's Chicagoans, so none of us had ever been nearer to Chicago than Weston-super-Mare. We were from London, and this was my first out-of-town gig. In fact, my first foray into the big time, you could say. It wasn't exactly love at first sight. No industrial city in the immediate post-war years could be called exactly swinging, and in my memory, Birmingham swung rather less than most of them. The buildings were all grey and forbidding. There was nowhere to eat after 6 o'clock at night, nowhere nice to stay, that we could afford anyway, and the town hall looked a bit stuffy and pompous to me. Modelled on a Roman temple, it had been built as a concert hall in 1834 to house the triennial music festivals, which had been started half a century earlier, and which had become so popular that they'd run out of places big enough to hold them. The town hall was Birmingham's first cultural landmark. Many famous classical composers came here, such as Mendelssohn, Dvorak and Elgar, and for many years it was the home of the City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra. Not exactly the sort of place that we were used to, coming from steaming cellars in London and the pungent back rooms of pubs. Well, not everybody's idea of a typical jazz joint, but the people who ran the concerts here in the late 40s, the Midland Jazz Club, were convinced that there was an audience here for jazz, and my word, they were right. George Webb's Dixielanders came up here before even I set foot in the place and packed the place out, which was a phenomenal event for jazz at that time. And when I came up later on and started doing concerts here with 2,000 people, of course, it was really something that launched my own career. This is one of the numbers I played with Carlo Kramer's band, recorded live at the Town Hall in 1947. When I first came to play here in the late 40s, jazz all over the world was divided into two warring camps. There was modern jazz, or bebop as they called it, which was initiated by the likes of Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie. And then there was traditional or revivalist jazz, as we called it, which went back for inspiration to old 78 records recorded in the 1920s representing New Orleans jazz. Traditional jazz tended to be beards and corduroy trousers and the pipe smoking and pints of beer in the hand and all that. Modern jazz was much more a sort of offshoot of, you might say, the Teddy Boy era of the late 40s. Crew cuts and sharp draped suits and all that. And both musicians and audiences were very partisan then, especially in Birmingham. It didn't go down too well when in 1953 I brought an alto saxophone into my band, and that was regarded by the New Orleans purists as something which was out of keeping and didn't sound right. And when my hapless alto saxophonist, the late Bruce Turner, went into his first solo, the students in the circle there unfurled a long banner saying, "Go home, dirty bopper." We were all pretty rebellious in those days, and it was regarded as a blow for freedom if you came on in a polo neck sweater with holes in it into a place like this. And people remember to this day the time when I first appeared on this stage actually wearing a pale blue tuxedo type thing and a bow tie. And we did come under deep suspicion then. They thought Humphrey Lyttleton's band has gone modern, they're wearing jackets. There have been many changes in Birmingham over the years, and the Town Hall hasn't been immune from them. 3 years ago, they built the new Symphony Hall up the road, and this place lost 90% of its traditional program material. But characteristically, it's found in recent times a new departure, comedy. New comics are coming here and making their names very much as we did 50 years ago. So there are still frisky things going on inside this dignified building. I think that's great, the old place keeping up with the times.